Magic's newest set, Aetherdrift, is racing into stores, and I'm going to show you how to upgrade the Living Energy Precon deck so that you can play it at your Commander party. Hello, it's me, it's CGB. You can find me on YouTube playing on the worst possible Commander show with my friends, or playing MTG Arena on the CovertGoBlue channel. And I'm going to show you today what I would do with the Living Energy Precon to get it ready for play at your local game store. This new Precon is the perfect fusion between artifacts and energy, and it's led by the legendary commander Saheeli, Radiant Creator. She's a 4/4 human artificer, and whenever you cast an artificer or artifact spell, you get an energy counter. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay 3 energy, and when you do, create a token that's a copy of target permanent you control. Except it's a 5/5 artifact creature in addition to other types, and has haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Living Energy connects classic favorites from the energy archetype and various artifacts, and combines them with some brand new payoffs in Aetherdrift Commander. The energy package was a major part of competitive Magic in the past, and all of your favorites are here. Like Lightning Runner, Whirler Virtuoso, Aetherworks Marvel, Glimmer of Genius, energetic card draw, I love it, Rogue Refiner, and Attune with Aether. These all make sure that you have plenty of energy counters to keep Saheeli's ability activated. But this deck isn't just about the past, it's also about the future. This deck includes a number of new cards that both create energy and pay it off. Cards like Aetheric Amplifier, Aetherflux Conduit, Pima Trailblazer, Rampaging Aetherhood, Territorial Aetherkite is a cat dragon? Nissa Worldsoul Speaker. Now that we've checked under the hood, let's get some tune-ups from the old garage. Or, in my case, some binders. One of my favorite things to do with a new commander is go through my old collection and find cards that work perfectly with it. Here's some upgrades that you may have missed. Aether Revolt is an absolutely sweet payoff from Modern Horizons 3 that can deal damage to my opponents whenever I generate more energy. Izzet Generatorium is an amplifier for all of your energy cards by adding even more energy to your total count, and you can use it to draw cards when you spend that energy. Sounds perfect for my deck. Gonti's Aetherheart takes everything up to 11. When you can take extra turns just by doing what your deck already wants to do, like playing artifacts and making energy, then you're definitely going to turn some heads at the table. There's nothing Commander players love more than a good double, except a good quadruple, except a good whatever comes after that. And that's what Electrostatic Pummeler provides in this deck. You can make copies of it with Saheeli that start out at a 5/5 and then spend energy to double its power. And if you have enough energy, you can double it again. When asking myself what would go good in a Saheeli deck, I said, how about more Saheeli? That makes sense. Saheeli the Sun's Brilliance actually fits perfectly. This legendary creature piggybacks on what the Saheeli Radiant Creator Commander is already doing. You can use her to make a copy of the thing you already made a copy of so that you have 2 5/5s with haste. Another excellent flavor addition is Poetic Ingenuity. This red enchantment creates a 3/1 red dinosaur creature token whenever I cast an artifact spell, and the deck is loaded with those. Also, whenever I attack with a dinosaur, I make that many treasure tokens, keeping the artifacts in play. But what really makes this card a perfect addition is the art, because who better to support Saheeli than Huatli? Now that we've done some tune-ups, let's go through the packs that I cracked and see if we find some cards that really showcase the new set. The first things I noticed were the Verge lands. If I had built a Teamer deck a few months ago, I would have been able to run only the red-green Verge, because the 2 enemy color Verges would not be available. But now they're here. We have the Riverspire Verge, which can make red and blue mana, and we have the Willow Rush Verge, which makes blue and green mana. And now our mana base will be much more consistent. The next card I have to talk about is Full Throttle. When I opened this card, I knew it was going to go in every commander deck that had a commander with attack triggers. Full Throttle is a 6-mana sorcery that says after this main phase, there are 2 additional combat phases. We've had plenty of cards around that gave us 1 additional combat, but 2 additional combats? You also get to untap all creatures that attack this turn at the beginning of each combat. So you don't have to worry. All of our creatures that attack will get to attack 3 times, unless they were to meet with a catastrophic accident. Our commander's ability will also trigger at the beginning of each combat step, which means if we have the energy for it, we can make another 5/5 copy of a permanent we control for each combat. That's going to be a lot of damage and will probably kill at least one person at the table. Another card I couldn't wait to add to this deck is Pyrewood Gearhulk. This is a 6 mana red and green 7/7 artifact creature construct. It has vigilance and it has menace, but it also enters and gives other creatures you control +2/+2 and vigilance and menace until end of turn. It has the extra text that damage can't be prevented this turn, so fog effects don't affect ya. With Saheeli's ability, you can make another copy of the Gearhulk that's a 5/5 to give all your creatures the bonus again. And that version of the Gearhulk can also attack this turn. Yet another way to take out the table in one fell swoop with cards they've never seen before. The card I'm most excited to add from Aetherdrift is probably this little rascal, Loot the Pathfinder. Loot is a 2/4 double strike vigilant haste creature, and it has 3 exhaust abilities. The green one adds 3 mana of any one color, which might remind you of a card called Black Lotus. The blue one draws 3 cards, which might remind you of a card called Ancestral Recall. The red one does 3 damage to any target. I don't know what that references. No idea. With 3 great abilities on one creature, I think Loot the Pathfinder can be included in almost any deck that runs these colors, and I definitely want to play it the first chance that I get. Another sweet addition is the Aetherspark. This is one of the most ridiculous mythics in the whole set. I have never seen a type line like this before. It's a legendary artifact planeswalker equipment. It can go in any commander deck because it has a colorless identity, and it's an artifact, so it does work with our commander. The Aetherspark says as long as the Aetherspark is attached to a creature, the Aetherspark can't be attacked. And it says when equipped creature deals combat damage during your turn, you put that many loyalty counters on the Aetherspark. When we attach this to one of our giant tokens that Saheeli created, we're going to put a ton of loyalty on this thing right away. The +1 ability attaches the Aetherspark and adds a +1/+1 counter. The -5 draws 2 cards. I like drawing cards. But then there's that -10. The -10 adds 10 mana of any color. That can cast just about anything you can have in your hand at any time. So if you are one of those players who wants to throw the whole hand onto the battlefield and see what happens, the Aetherspark lets you do it. I can't wait to show this card to my friends. To put the finishing touches on the perfect commander deck build, I like to add a little bit of bling. A while back, a fan of mine sent me a cryptic command from the Amonkhet Invocations. Since Amonkhet is one of the planes that we're visiting on this death race across the multiverse, why not add a little extra spice to this deck? The card is versatile and it has so many modes that it can definitely find ways to synergize with the deck. And I always love running a few cards that just feel extra me. And to really go all out with the bling, we're going to add a combustible Gearhulk invention. I've been waiting for a deck to put this in since I pulled it from a pack, and I'm very excited to show it off to all my friends because it fits perfectly with the theme of this deck. It's an artifact that makes more energy with Saheeli, and when I copy it, my opponents will face the most impossible choice. Give me cards or give them death. All right, we've taken the Living Energy Precon deck, we've added some flavor, we've added some bling, we've added some classic cards, and we've added some new cards from Aetherdrift. There's only one thing to do now, and that is to play against our friends at a Commander Party event. You'll find these events at your local game stores starting on February 21st. Use the store locator link in the description to find your local game store and to find the date of their Commander Party. There's nothing better than Commander at your local game store with brand new cards, so celebrate Aetherdrift in style. Race into your local game store using the link in the description today. Hey Blake, do you like energy?
Yeah.
We all love energy here.